Hey guys, welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. Today's episode is by request of several of you to put my Nativity or Christ-centered Christmas DIYs all together in one video. Where today is the last Sunday before Christmas, I thought today would be an appropriate day to do that. I hope that as you watch this video, you can feel His love and remember the reason for this season. Enjoy the video and Merry Christmas. I've had this little nativity ornament for a little while, and I really felt like if I was to put it on my tree, it might kind of get lost in there, and I really did want to showcase it since we do like to have a lot of decor that does remind us of the true meaning of Christmas and the nativity, and I just love it. It's this little like wrought iron. It's really flat. It's just very simple, very rustic. So I'm just cutting off the little hanger from it with some wire cutters here, and then I will just sand that down so it's not sharp at all. And I just used some elephant chalk paint and some silver lining and just kind of stained these little paint sticks that I got at Lowe's. And you can see how cute that looks. And I'm just doing that to kind of measure for where I want to cut the paint sticks down to, so that way I'll have a background. Now you can do whatever you would like with an ornament like this for a background. This is just to give you some inspiration or some ideas here. But I'll just cut these down. You can cut them down however you would. If you have some miter shears or something like that, that would probably work as well. But you can see that I love the shape of that, how it fits. So I just glue the ends I cut off on the back with some wood glue and hot glue, and that's what's going to hold all of this together. Now I want to brighten it up a little bit, so I'm just using some plaster chalk paint and just doing a very heavy dry brush on here, so that way that kind of rustic metal, it's like a rustish brown color, it's not quite black, will really pop against this, and it's just going to look like really weathered wood there. And I kind of decide that it needs a little something extra, so I stain a few more pieces of my painter sticks, and I'm going to cut them. I'm going to make a little roof line, like a barn roof line on this. So on the ones that I'm going to put on my roof, I do stain a little bit darker, and then you can see those ones I cut at an angle. I'm kind of making a little roof line there and just gluing those with some other little pieces. So there we go, looks kind of like a little barn or a little house. And then I'm just gluing these together for the roof. Now you could easily use one of the little houses that you find at Dollar Tree or whatever you can find, but I thought this was super fun, super cute, and I think it's just gonna look really cute when it's done. So I glue the roof on here, and then I do a little dry brushing on that, and just use some gel super glue to glue this nativity on. Now it looks absolutely beautiful the way that it is here. I just love how simplistic this looks. But you know me, I have to kind of extra everything. So I have some barn wood from a barn that we tore down a little while ago. So I just take a couple of pieces of that. This would be completely optional. You could find anything else that you would like to do with this to add a different background to it. But I really liked the idea of using something that was special to us, like our barn that we tore down and the barn wood from that, and how simple of the nativity with the stable and the wood. I just thought it all went really well, and the special meaning that it had for my family. But this is really all there is to this. It's very simple, but I think it is so beautiful and so elegant, and what a wonderful reminder of the true meaning of Christmas. I found a graphic of the sheet music for Holly and the Ivy. It's just the first verse on here, so I did print that out after sizing it to the size I wanted it. And now I am just going to tear the edges to kind of give this a very aged look. So when I go to the edge, and this is very sped up, but I did just kind of go back and forth to give it a really weathered and aged look on it. And I do this to all four sides. And then I take this piece of paper and just crumple it up like it's trash, and then we just open it back up. This adds lots of fun little wrinkles and things in there. And I have this little scrapbook like aging kit for paper. I've seen them at Hobby Lobby. I got this at JoAnns, but it comes with a bunch of different colors, and you can even buy additional colors, and there's lots of different techniques that it kind of explains to you in there on how to age paper and make things look really old and weathered. So I'm just doing kind of a bunch of different techniques here, if you even want to call it a technique. I really just kind of was rubbing the ink and the dye and everything on the paper. You can see how all of those little wrinkles picks up that dye and really does make it look aged. I really am happy with how that came out. Now I found this little sign in kind of like the kids craft section of the Christmas section at Hobby Lobby, and I thought it would be a darling little sign to make over. So I'm just using this for this particular project, but use whatever you have that you want to do a little sign on. So I do just paint the base black and then the edges all black, and on that little finial on the top I go in with some antiquing wax. I really like the contrast of that with the black. I thought it just looked really nice together with the whole theme that I was going with here. And there's also a little wood piece down at the bottom between the sign and the base, and I just stain that with the same antiquing wax to kind of tie it in. Now I paint kind of a little bit over the edge where my sheet music and the scrapbook paper I use will go, so that way a little bit of the black will peek out, but I don't need to do the full center because that's where my paper will be. Hopefully that makes sense. On the back side I did just completely paint it black. You could easily make another sign on the back side of this, so it could be two-sided or even do like chalkboard something on the back. But on the front side of this that I'm doing, I just found this plaid paper out of some Christmas plaids that I had and cut it to be just a little bit less than the size of the sign. So that way you can kind of see that black through there. And I just used some good old purple school glue, just that little glue stick glue to put that down with. And then I do the same thing on the sheet music here and just place that on top of the plaid paper. So I'm going to use these little holly embellishments along with this cute bow that I made. But of course, I must have felt it wasn't important to hit record on my camera while I made the bow. So I'm just showing you that I took the ribbon, made a ring with it, and then pinched it in the middle and then tied that off. And that is how I made this cute little bow. And then I'm just going to use some hot glue to glue it to the top there. And then I had some little tails on it that I thought would be really cute. To kind of glue those to the side so that way they wouldn't fall down over the sheet music. It kind of gives them just a little bit of placement. Hopefully that makes sense. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I glue those little holly leaves and berries up just underneath that bow peeking down. Now, as you can see, you can't see the title of the music where it says the holly and the ivy at all. I know it's there, you know it's there, but you could do this with any sheet music that you had. Now I'm taking the second half of this nativity ornament that I have, and I just dry brushed it with a little bit of black to make it pop a little bit more against that music, and I just hot glue it onto the front. You would not have to do that step. I actually just, any way that I can add a little bit more Christ into my Christmas decorating, I absolutely love. For this gift idea, you're going to need 4 of the little Hershey's candy bars that you pick up at the grocery store, and I am going to leave a link for these printables that I have created for you using Canva so you can print them out and do this as well. We're going to make just a little card nativity. I received this from a coworker a few years back, and I thought it was the most darling little thing. And honestly, if you're wanting to do something religious for Christmas, you just want to throw something together for neighbors or coworkers or somebody, this is so easy. And it is really cute, and you can do it really quickly, especially with these printables. So again, those links will be down in my description box, but I'm just cutting out each of the little pieces of the nativity. I have a baby Jesus, I have Mary and Joseph, and I have the star. And then I printed those just on regular paper. You could do them on cardstock if you wanted to. I will say that the stable that I printed out there, that is on like a photo piece of paper, and so I would definitely do that on cardstock or photo paper. But I'm just using some glue dots. You could use some double-sided tape or whatever you have, and I am just folding these around the candy bar. Now these are all matched to the size here. If you use my printable, they were 3 inches by 1.5 inches if you want to create your own. So each of those little cutouts of the star and the people there were 1.5 inch by 3 inches. So, and then I just printed that stable on a 4x6 photo card. But you can see how simple this is, just folding these over. This would definitely be something that your kids could help you do. They would be great neighbor gifts, or even just gifts for cousins or anybody, just something to throw together that really does kind of have that true meaning of Christmas. And who doesn't love to get chocolate for Christmas? If you do use the printables that I have made for you, I have already sized the pieces that go on the chocolate, come on an 8 by, just a normal sheet of paper, like an 8 by 11, whatever the measurements are of a normal piece of paper. And you'll get like 4 sets on there, I believe. And then the stable is sized to 4x6. So when you print that out, it will just print as a 4x6 size. So you can print it out on photo paper or on cardstock. Now to put these on, I'm just using glue dots on the back of them, and I space them out how I would like them here. Pretty easy peasy. And then I'm just taking the cellophane bag. This came from the like gift section at Walmart, so it wasn't in like a Christmas section or anything. It's just their normal birthday section. And I thought it would be really cute to put a little bit of raffia in there to kind of look like some straw from the manger in there. I thought that just kind of added a little bit something extra in there. So that's totally optional. And you could package this however you want. You could just hand it as the card, but I thought in the cellophane bag it kind of added a little bit more to it. And I'm just using some twine. This is just some red and green twine I picked up at Walmart, and I'm just going to tie this into a cute little bow. Once you print these out, this takes no time at all. I mean, this is such a perfect gift, even for like somebody in your church group or something. But look at how sweet that looks. I think that looks so adorable. Here's just a picture of it all put together, all tied up. I think this is one of my favorite things, and I love giving this out. I have used this a couple of times over the last couple of years that I've given to people, and they honestly love it. It's just something cute, and it really is super simple and such a great reminder of the true meaning of Christmas. I've had this sign in my stash, but I picked it up at my local thrift store, and I've kind of been wondering what to do. Where it was orange, I think originally thought I was going to do a fall DIY with it, but we're just going to paint it and make a Christmas DIY out of it. I just give this about 3 or 4 coats of red chalk paint. You easily could spray paint it. I just did not have any red spray paint on hand this day, so the chalk paint or acrylic paint, whatever you have that way, would work just fine. Now I do have some little ornament shapes that I picked up at the craft store. I have seen them at Dollar Tree. You could even just cut out just paper. You wouldn't have to use the 3-dimensional element. So easy to kind of tailor this to what works best for you. But I do just trace out a circle on some of my plaid paper, and I'm just going to use that on the front of my ornament. Now I'm going to use my favorite school glue. This is just purple glue stick. It's Elmer's glue. It works fantastic for a lot of craft projects. I feel like when crafters find something that works for them, they do just continue to use that. And I have not had any issues with this, so I do use it quite a bit. But I do just place this paper right down. I line up where the plaid, where I want it to kind of be, just eyeball it, see what looks good. And then I'm just using my Mod Podge roller just to kind of make sure that that gets very good and bonded. And then this is very sped up, but in a slow downward motion with my file, I just make those edges crisp and clear. And then I also paint around the edge with some black paint to finish it off. And I have this gold paint pen from Dollar Tree, so I just use that to put on the top of my ornament. I love to add the nativity into my Christmas decorating any way that I can, so I did just cut out this little silhouette of the nativity. You easily could skip this step if you did not want to, or you could even print one out from online if you don't have a cutting machine and decoupage it on there. Now I cut out the letters J and Y because our ornament will act as our O. These are block letters, so you could easily cut these out by hand with paper, using sticker paper or vinyl if you don't have a cutting machine, or you could even stencil them on there, or if you're good at hand lettering, you could definitely do that. I want to make sure that this ornament is very good and stuck, so I did use some super glue as well as some hot glue, and then I'm just going to put a little holly leaf and some berries on there. I thought that was so cute, and if you know anything about the song The Holly and the Ivy, you know how the holly correlates to the birth of Christ, and I absolutely love using that in combination with my nativity. So I do take some metallic acrylic paint. That was hard for me to say for some reason, but I do just dry brush that on. You would not have to do this step. I thought where it was a tin sign, it would look kind of cute and rustic, and you can do it as heavy-handed as you want. I end up getting very heavy-handed on here, and I know that's not everybody's style, so you definitely do it to what works best for you, or not at all. But I just go around all the edges with those little, the little bead type looking, the little raised areas. It looks really, really good. I am so happy with how this turned out. I absolutely love that little ornament with the nativity in the middle. I think that this is absolutely perfect. What do you guys think of this one? Are you guys on Instagram? If you are, I would love if you would come and find me. I am Farm Charm Chic over there. I'll leave a link down in my description box so you can easily find me. But come and see what I'm working on. I post there quite a bit. I like to show you things that I'm working on or when I have videos ready. It's just another place to stay in touch. So if you do come find me, remember to send me a DM and say hi, because I do love meeting new friends. I picked this sign up at a garage sale, and you can see that it came originally from Hobby Lobby, but you can see that they've written some writing on there for preschool from a little while ago that that writing would not come off of there. I'm sure it was probably something that just sat on there long enough. And so I decided to repaint over this. Now I'm just using some of Dollar Tree's chalkboard paint, but you could easily do any kind of black paint just to get the coverage that you would need. And it only took one coat of this to cover up that writing, but I just kind of carefully go around all of the edges, and you can kind of see I'm just drying it with my heat gun and how well it turns out there that you cannot see any of that writing or anything like that. And I just love this heat gun, by the way. I have it linked down in my description box, but you guys, it's such a game changer when you're crafting. Now I have this little nativity scene that came from Dollar Tree. It's kind of a three-dimensional scene that you can stack. It comes with the little wise men as well, but I'm just going to use the Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, and the stable here. And I am painting the little figures white so they pop against that black of the chalkboard. And I thought when I was doing this that I would stain the barn structure a wood color, because that was probably, I just felt like that matched a little bit better in my mind with how it should look. But originally I was going to do everything white to kind of pop against that black, but I thought it would be kind of more fun to have that on there. Now I'm just using some of my Elmer school glue to glue this on. I did this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I just absolutely love this glue, and it will hold very well for what I need it to, because these wood pieces are very thin and it's got a flat surface, so the bond actually will be really good. But it is something that if I did want to remove them later, I could just stick like a little putty knife behind them to peel them off there, and I could use this again to make another sign for a different season or do something different if I wanted to. And as like with super glue or something, you wouldn't be able to do that. And if you were to use hot glue, I don't feel like they would kind of pop out a little bit more. It wouldn't be as flat as you want them to. So now I just thought at the bottom of this it would be really cute to add a little bit of mistletoe, some greenery. I really love like the little red berries on here, and then just this cute little bow that I tied there. I just think this is so simple and elegant, and I love any way that I can incorporate a nativity into my Christmas decor, because I feel like that just brings the true meaning and the true heart of Christmas into your home. I would love to know what your thoughts are on this one. I am very, very pleased with it. So I have this little snow globe from Dollar Tree, and also an ornament that I found at Walmart that I absolutely loved that has a nativity on it. And by a happy coincidence, it fits perfectly with the snow globe. So I just removed the design that was on the snow globe because I wanted it to be so you could see the front and the back and not have to worry about that. So I did just take that little paper design on there. Now this ornament is double-sided, so I am going to use both sides of it for two different DIYs today. So it took just a little bit of prying with my putty knife, but it did pop right off. So I will paint my snow globe completely white, and I believe I painted all over white. So really you probably don't have to take that paper design off, but it makes it so it won't like bubble up or anything like that. The paper won't get wrinkly, if that makes sense at all. And then I take some, and I use my sandpaper just to kind of smooth the paint because I wanted it to have not just be really smooth. And just with some hot glue, I put that little nativity scene on there. Like I said, it just fits so perfect. I did decide it needed something around the edge to finish it off, so I am just using a little bit of hot glue, and this is sped up quite a bit, so I really did take my time with this. But I would put just a little bit of hot glue and go around with my jute twine to kind of give that edge a little bit of something extra. After I finish the twine around the edge, I do wrap about 3 or 4, 5 or 6, I don't know, quite a few little layers there just around the bottom. I thought that added a little bit more texture to the bottom and tied in the twine around the edge of the nativity scene. After I tie this off, I look at it and think it needs a little bit more substantial of a bow there. So I just wrap the twine around my fingers 3 or 4 times to make more loops. I thought that looked a little bit better. And then I'll just tie that off in the middle with another piece of twine. And then using some hot glue, I will just stick it over that knot. And then the little tails that come off the bow, I'll just cut those off and those will serve as my tails. The song, The Holly and the Ivy, does talk about Christmas Day and the birth of Christ quite a bit. And so I thought a nativity was perfect. So I love that this ties that in. I also felt like it could use a little bit of color. And so I have these darling little pieces of holly from Hobby Lobby. It was a couple of dollars for this whole sheet of them. And so I just took one of them off and just glued it like it was coming out of the bow there. I thought that added such a beautiful little touch to it, a little bit of color. And also for me, just a nice little reminder of the correlation between the holly plant and Christmas Day, the birth of Christ. I absolutely love how this turned out. I think it is so simple and so elegant. What do you guys think of this one? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you could feel of our Savior's love and that you are truly inspired to have a Christ-centered Christmas. Remember to check the link in my description box for that Nativity printable if you would like that. And please have a very Merry Christmas. I'll see you next time, guys. Happy crafting! If you liked the video that you just saw and you want to keep crafting together, here's another video that you might enjoy. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.